It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Hello to all. Welcome to Divas That Care Network. I am Joyce Benning, and I will be your host for this robust lifestyle show. Please check out our website, divasthatcare.com, and see all the amazing hosts and their shows of women they are interviewing around the world. I am so very excited today to have a returning diva, Caroline Shear, with me, and she is going to speak about publishing and writing, which truly sounds very interesting to me. Caroline Shear, could you please introduce yourself and tell us a little about yourself today?
Yes, thank you so much, Joyce, for having me on your show. I love the idea of a robust lifestyle. That is exactly what I hope we all kind of go for, is to live our life to the fullest with the things that we love, and really enjoying, what we can out of every moment. I love that premise. My name is Caroline Shear. I'm the founder of Absolute Love Publishing. And I'm also an author. So between those two things, there are quite a few writing projects that I've been involved in. We have dozens now that are out. So we do everything from adult self-help and mysteries and fiction and fantasy to now we're doing young adults and a little bit of middle grade. And then as of the last year and a half, we have gone into more of a magazine publication too that we're producing. So I've been writing for a long, long time, and I really enjoy working with the written word. I really have a fondness and a passion for communicating things in a written way, and so it will be great to talk about that today.
Oh, that is so awesome. Oh, wow. That is a real talent that you have, to be able to put it in writing and put it into words like that. That is super. Well, I have to ask, was there an aha moment in your life that made you realize that this is what you wanted to pursue?
I think when I was young, as in high school young, is when I first started thinking about writing in general. I got complimented on some writing one time by a teacher, and it just really hit me. And, when you hear the right thing at a certain age, it really can impact you, and I'm very thankful for that teacher. But I still didn't have any idea how I would use that. And once I was in college, I was trying out different kinds of writing jobs. And I was a reporter for a while, and I was liking writing, and I was liking producing material. I loved, the deadlines. I liked all of it. But one time I was doing a story that was very real, and let's just say someone ultimately died, and I was having to cover the story. And it was in that moment that I shifted. Because before, up to that point, I had just been treating it, I guess, from a distance, like treating it as a third-party observer where I'm just reporting or I'm just talking about something. And that moment, I was still very, very young, and it just really hit me and changed me. And it was from that point forward that I decided that if I'm going to write, then I want to use my words for good. I want to use words in a positive way. And so it shifted what I was doing. And, of course, things evolve over time. I did quite a bit in writing in different areas, but it was that moment that shifted my perspective and said, no, I don't want to write that. I want to write this. And it really grew from there. And then, much later is when I founded the publishing company and decided that I wanted everything that we produced to have a positive impact on people, even if that's enjoyment, but making sure it's coming from a positive place. And so it really did shift. It was one of those moments. It's probably 2021, and it just really shifted, and it got real. Sometimes you have things happen where there's just a moment where everything gets real. That moment, I still remember holding the phone. This was back when you held phones, and I mean, like a house phone. I mean, and I just remember kind of my stomach dropping out when I just realized, oh my gosh, what are you doing? I wasn't even thinking about it. I just didn't have any awareness, and that moment brought it all to the forefront for me and switched everything. And then here we are, many years later. That moment, even though it wasn't good for me, and obviously the situation was not good, it allowed me to create a whole genre of publishing. So it's really amazing in that kind of perspective.
Wow, what an incredible aha moment. Oh, man, that is quite something to share with listeners and let them know how you became involved in the publishing. I just love that. And the positive, always reporting on the positive. That is so awesome. I love that. Well, Caroline, I was on your website, Absolute Love Publishing, which I love that name too, and I came across under magazines, a Loved Life magazine. And I just absolutely loved where it says, consciously create a life you love with a loved life. I'm like, oh my, that just really hit me. Would you please share with our listeners today, a little bit about what a Loved Life magazine is?
Yes. So consciously create a life you love is, as you said, our tagline. And I think this is so important right now with people. We're all in this place where we're trying to figure out how to create the best and most fulfilling life for ourselves. And there are, of course, infinite ways that we can do that, but it can be overwhelming to just start to think, well, what do I need to do in my life? What do I need to shift in my life? What do I need to let go of? What do I need to bring in? What are some tools that I can implement today? Because sometimes we'll read something and it sounds wonderful, but it's too out there. We need to bring it down to well, how can I change my day with this? And so the whole premise of the magazine is to provide topics and ideas to help people craft a life that better suits them, that helps them feel happier and more fulfilled, that helps them achieve what they would like to achieve or experience what they would like to experience. And I try really hard to make sure we're always bringing it down to a practical level, because especially in my publishing experience, there are so many books that will approach something from it could be a spiritual perspective or a philosophical perspective, and they have great ideas. But I'm, I guess, very grounded, and I'm always looking for but what can I do? And I think that's an element that's sometimes missing from some of the books that are out there. And so I wanted to create here's this concept, and if it resonates with you, here are 5 ways you can do that, or, whatever it might be for that particular story. But I wanted to make sure we're keeping a grounded, achievable kind of perspective so that people can really make the choices that help them love their lives.
Oh, how wonderful. And how it sounds like this magazine is all about helping others to create that life that they love, like you said, and touching on many different topics. It sounds like it goes into all kinds of topics. What on each, is this a monthly publication, or how is this published where our listeners can look for it?
We are doing it as we go to start. We had our inaugural, and then we did 2 in 2019, and then we were working on number 4 when the pandemic came, and so we're trying to time when to release number 4, but it will be out at least a year, if not a couple of years. We're just kind of we have the freedom to choose, so we're choosing for an ideal moment. But 3 are out now, and it's interesting because you say there are ways to learn from this, but we find that we are growing so much from producing it too. And I think that's one of the really interesting facets is every time we are talking about something, we're able to grow into that. And then I think that makes us really good advocates for hey, this works. But what while writing these articles or learning things, or we often will write about things that are going on in our lives, and it helps us show that it's real, and here's an idea, and it worked for me. It might work for you. So it's really great from that kind of perspective, and from what I hear, people are resonating really well with it, which is our goal, and that's what we'll continually evolve to do.
Oh, wow. That sounds fantastic. Now, the articles in the magazine itself, are they from your publishing group, or are there numerous authors that write stories to publish in the magazine, or how is this done?
We have a lot of people who are in our network who write for us, and then some of our authors do a little bit of the writing. It's a mix. And we also get submissions that we consider. So it's a mix. It's not exclusive to just our authors. We want to give a broad perspective, and so we pick articles that fit our needs based on whoever they are. We want the articles that best fit our needs. But we talk about anything from, finding more fulfillment to having a happier home life to being more in the moment, anything that can help you improve your daily life. And one of the things that we have been very happy with is your organization, Divas That Care, was actually an inaugural participant in A Loved Life. And Divas That Care has been in every issue so far, and we have absolutely loved that because I think Divas and Absolute Love Publishing have similar paths and trajectories. We approach things the same way in a lot of the cases, and we just are in sync. So it's really nice that we're able to share some of the positive messages that you guys do in an audio form and then share them in our books in a written form. So it's been really great that we've been able to do that. And I love all 3 of the Divas That Care pieces that have been published so far.
Oh, thank you so much for that. Oh, yes. And we love working with you. I mean, it's a mutual agreement. We just love it. It is just great because we are all working together to make the world a better place, and all in the positive ways. So, that is just beautiful. I love that. Well, in each magazine or each edition, do you call it a volume, or do you have just certain topics? Do you touch on certain topics, and is each one kind of dedicated to certain topics, or is it just kind of randomly put together of all kinds of topics?
It's by volume, so every one is called A Love Life, and then we just call them Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, etc. And we have categories that we approach. We have intentional living is one category. We have elevated action, conscious connection, and sacred self-care. Those are our 4 main topics. So intentional living is a lot of the personal stuff, like what can you do internally to help you, have a better life experience. Elevated action tends to tell stories of doing things out in the world, where intentional living tends to be about you. Elevated action is more like out in the world, what things might be going on, what you might be doing in the world to create a difference. Organizations that are doing cool things, how you can reach people. And conscious connection tends to be or is about relationships, but we keep that really broad. It's relationships in the sense of with others, but it could also be with animals. It could also be your internal relationship, but anything on that relationship level. And then sacred self-care is, again, internal, but it's more in the physical sense. So like, what do we need to do to make sure we're taking care of ourselves instead of just, for example, always putting our effort outward into other people, other organizations, other animals, like what do we need to do to make sure we're cultivating ourselves too? So those are the four main topics that we talk about. And then it just, we try to make sure we have something for each section to kind of help people be well-rounded in that sense.
Oh, that is fantastic. So basically in each volume, each one of those topics is covered in different kinds of ways. Oh, wow. That is fantastic. I love that. Well, and something on Reading in a Love Life book magazine on the website, it says that you're evergreen. The Love Life magazine is evergreen. May you explain to the listeners what exactly that means for them?
Yes. Yes. Evergreen is it's probably a holdover from my journalism days. It's a term that means always relevant. Like there's no timeline on it. So, for example, we don't do anything with a date. We don't do anything that is about something current moment, like in like a news story, like something present. We only put articles and advertisements in that are evergreen, meaning you could pick it up today and it means something, and you could pick it up 5 years and it means something. So that's our goal with this, is to create content that's always relevant and readable and something that can help you no matter where you are, no matter when it is, something that resonates forever. And so that's our goal with it. There's some, it's a little tricky at times to not talk about certain things or to not using time, but we really want to do that because we want this to be the kind of magazine that you can read today, you can put it on your shelf, and you can come back to it again. And maybe you see new things that you missed the first time, or maybe it means something different to you in this time, but it's still able to help you. We think of these as almost collector's editions, where it's something you can have forever, and there's always information in there that's going to help you. And as we all know, different things help us at different times. We can read a book at one point and it means something, and then you pick it up a few years later and it opens up a whole new part that you never thought about, just because we're in different places. And so that's our goal with all of these articles, is to make sure that they are relevant to you no matter when you pick them up, and so that they always have value.
Oh, that is just fantastic, because that's what sets you apart, because in most magazines it's more what is happening in the current, and this is, like you said, a collector's edition. Oh, I love that. It's something you can go back to over time, and how true that is. You can read something 1 month and 3 years later read it and it has a whole different meaning to you. So that is just beautiful.
Exactly.
I absolutely love that in that. That is fantastic. Well, how may our listeners read this magazine? Is it in book form, online? How may they be able to read and get in on all these stories that are in a Love Life magazine?
Yes, it's both. So there are print editions available, and you can get them from any store online right now, and certainly from Amazon and all the bookstores online. And your bookstore may have it or be able to get it for you also. And we also have digital versions available too, and those are available from the online sources. You can also visit our website anytime, absolutelovepublishing.com, and we have the store there where we sell both. We sell the print edition, and then we sell a simple PDF version on our website. If you go to Amazon, it will be more formatted for your reader. But they're available if anywhere basically that you would go to buy a book, you can get them through that. Although we welcome you over at Absolute Love Publishing, and actually right now, this will not be evergreen, but right now because of the pandemic, temporarily, we have the digital versions for free on our website. We wanted people to have something positive to read. when there's a lot going on, a lot of upheaval and change and just different stuff. We wanted to make sure that no one missed out on any access to any positive reading during this time. So for now, at least temporarily, all the digital ones, 1, 2, and 3, are for free on our website. So that's really good. And we've actually had quite a few people take us up on that. So that's been nice to know that we can maybe do our part there. Yeah.
Oh, Caroline, what a beautiful gift you are giving to the world. I mean, that they can go online like that to your website, which we will publish all your social medias and that site, and be able to read that. Oh, that is just a beautiful gift. I just love that.
Well, and I, for your faithful listeners, I want to say too, to make sure that if you do go, that you make sure that you read the Divas That Care stories. I think it gives a different angle on things to be able to read them and to kind of have everything solidified. You have like a piece, and versus all this amazing content you have. But it's sometimes interesting to just sit down and read. And for example, in A Love Life 2, it was the article that the divas have in there is about being your best self. And so Candace gave some really good tips about ways that you can be your best self. And again, this goes back to well, that's a great idea, but how do I do it in my life? Candace actually breaks it down and said, here are some ways, here are some things that you can do to help you feel better about your presence in this world and what you're doing. And so that's an example of what's in there. And then it was really interesting in A Love Life 3, the story from the divas is about connecting for real, like connecting in real life. And I think that has been so incredibly important this year. I think so many of us are slowing down and connecting in meaningful ways and being in the moment more. And the timing was just perfection there, because I just think that's something that we really can grow on is slowing down, seeing what's in front of us, appreciating what we have, what's in front of us, and actually enjoying it and not treating things like responsibilities or burdens, but instead embracing them and understanding the richness that brings to our lives. So that's a really great story too. That's in A Love Life 3.
Oh, how beautiful. Yes, Candace is a beautiful, beautiful woman, and she speaks from the heart and has so much meaning in what she speaks and writes. Oh, that is beautiful. And like you said, slowing down and being, what I'm hearing is being grateful. Start with being gratitude journal. I've heard so many people talking about that, and you are referring to just slowing down and being grateful in this time for the things that you have. Oh, that is beautiful. And it is every day to be grateful. Well, Caroline, I want to ask you, you are such a busy, busy lady. You are doing so many things. How do you balance all your work that you're doing and how you're giving back to others?
I think I enjoy what I do so much that it doesn't drain me the way some people might approach their careers. I actually find it very energizing, and I love that feeling when we decide on something and we're ready to go for it, and it's like, yeah, let's do this. It's obviously a lot of work follows that moment, but I love that feeling, and then that feeling of being able to create something. It hits all the boxes. It hits the creation of something, which nurtures the creative type in me. But then there's also the success side. You want to succeed with something that you do, and so it helps me check those boxes internally, because I can create and succeed when assuming we do it well, which we do our best to do. But it's very fulfilling for me. And so I think that helps me present that, both in our products, but also with our authors and our, the people that we work with and the people that work for me. And it's rejuvenating in a sense. And I think that really helps me learn to appreciate it more, but also it helps me keep that good balance, like you said, of able to do the different things that I want to do because they feel like joy rather than feel like burdens, which makes all the difference.
Oh, that's beautiful. Because I can hear it in your voice. You love what you're doing. And when you love what you're doing, it just all kind of falls together and it doesn't feel so much like work or a burden. Oh, yes, it shines through you. I can feel it. That is so beautiful. Well, this has been such a fantastic interview, and as we start to come to the close of it, what are some thoughts, tips, or tools that you would like to leave with our listeners today?
Well, I guess coming from the writing perspective, I would say even if you don't consider yourself a writer, there's a lot to be gained by writing things down that mean something to you. And whether that's a dream journal or whether it's the things that happened in your day, whether it's something cute your kid said or whether it's just an emotion you're feeling, I think we can all really benefit from the permanency of writing because we have so many thoughts. We have, tens of thousands of thoughts a day. Some of them are awesome. Some of them are not. Some of them are in between. Some of them are all over the place. But when we take the ones that have some meaning to us and put them down in paper, we can revisit those. And there's so much value because we're going to forget the things we thought. But when we can write down something that feels special to us, even if it's something small, it's there and it's something that we can live over and over again and be reminded of. And I think the more we can retain from our everyday experiences, the more we can grow from them and remember, oh, that was a good lesson, or oh, that was a sweet moment. And so I would just say that would be my thought, just coming from a writing perspective, is whether you're a writer or not, just take the time to do a little bit of that and see how putting something into words makes it more real and makes it show up in your life more, just because of the simple act of putting it down on paper instead of just thinking it. That would be my thought.
Beautiful thoughts and tips to leave with our listeners, to put it in writing, and then you can go back and look at it. Put your feelings in writing. That is beautiful. I just love that. Thank you so much. Well, I want to thank you, Caroline Scheer, for being my guest, and I do hope you will return and keep us updated on A Love Life magazine, on your Absolute Love Publishing, and just everything that you're doing. We would love to have you back on our talk show, Caroline.
Thank you so much, Joyce. It's been a pleasure today.
Oh, well, thank you. It's definitely been my pleasure. I loved it. It was great. And as I said earlier, we will be posting all of Caroline Scheer's social media links to this podcast. And I want to thank you all for listening to this interview with our amazing diva, Caroline Scheer. Please share this show with your family and friends. Be sure to check out all the hosts and their shows on divasthatcare.com. Have a fantastic day. Remember to be kind to all. Give your animals a hug and share your love with them. Until we connect again on Robust Lifestyles, stay strong and healthy.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.